Hi everyone, my name is Heine and this is Rainier Books and this is Booktube. I am here to do a tag today. It's Saturday, actually, the 31st of July, and as you can see behind me, it's windy. You might hear the wind as well going around. I'm going to do a tag. Give me just 10 seconds, okay? So this tag is called the Under the Influence tag, which originates from Olive at a Book Olive. And I saw that Olive's video, which I linked down below, is 2 years old. And now this tag happened to come to me thanks to Margaret Pennard, her video I linked down below as well. And without further ado, here are the prompts and here's the video. What's a fantastic book you read off the recommendation of another booktuber? The first book that I came to think about and that I really liked a lot, I think I gave it 4 stars, something like that, 4.5 maybe even, is Stephen Markley's novel Ohio. That was I read this in 2019, and that was also in the beginning of the time when I sort of came to Booktube. And it was recommended by Russell from the Ink and Paper blog. Russell was one of the first channels. Russell's channels was one of the, I think, the first channel that I watched from time to time. And then somehow in 2019 and 2020, I started watching at other channels as well. So this is a book that I definitely have picked up from Booktube. The second part of the first question is, oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading because of a Booktuber's review? I haven't been talked out of. It's just that sometimes my sort of thoughts how a book might be were confirmed, and then I remembered that I DNF'd some books that I had that I didn't like that much, and then I saw some reviews that didn't really encourage me to read on, so I DNF'd them with the full knowledge that some people who I trust with their judgment said no to these books as well. So I put them aside and I had a good conscience about that. But I don't come, actually, the bus is going, let the bus drive here. It's bus number 184, by the way. Yeah, so I didn't actually have a book that no, it's not working here. I have to go inside because this is too dangerous when you have a cat inside. So my friends, for safety reasons, I walked inside my beautiful little apartment here to do the rest of the video from here, because I don't want to risk anything with the cat. The question number 2 is, has Booktube opened your mind to or changed your mind about any genres? Well, I wouldn't say no, not really. I would say not really, no. My thoughts about genres hasn't changed and haven't changed. I pretty much have the same opinion as before. How much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? Well, I think that looking back at my life, growing up with first, I don't remember the time, but growing up with 2 television channels, national state TV channels in Germany in the end of the 1960s and the 1970s, and then in the 1980s with the explosion of television, of private television, of cable television in Germany, when we had first like 8 or 10 channels. Today we have 120, 130, 150 channels when you go to Germany. And there's a song by Bruce Springsteen that you probably know, 50,000 channels and nothing on, which is pretty much true very often. So after all these explosion of media and of channels on television, I think that YouTube is the best television channel ever, because you can find anything on YouTube. And I know it's a very, very commercial place. I know that Google is behind it. It's big capitalism. But nevertheless, you find so much entertaining and even educating stuff on YouTube, that it gives voices like ours a chance to have a platform to reach the whole world. Of course, there are lots of negative sides which I'm not going to talk about here and right now, but I spend already quite a lot of time on YouTube. Not hours per day. I don't do that either today. But today, I would say YouTube and Netflix and HBO, and then the German media channels from state television. But mostly YouTube is my favorite channel. So I think that the time of watching YouTube has grown a little bit because I watch other booktubers' videos, which I haven't done before I started booktubing. To learn, to be in a discussion, to communicate. So it has definitely become more, but it's not an addiction. How many books did you read per month, per year before Booktube, and how many do you read now? Well, it's a very easy question because I look at my statistics at Goodreads for the last 3 years, and then I can tell you that last year was a new record, and that was my first year on Booktube. I started booktubing in May of 2020, and I have read over the course of the year 2020 56 books, which is a new record for me. I know it sounds ridiculous to many of you who read hundreds of books each year, but 56 is an average by, I would say, 4.5 per month, which is really great for me. And before that, I had an average of 3 books per month, like 36, 40 books per year. And now I realize in 2021 that my reading has gone down a little bit. So I'm 4 books behind my schedule of 2021, which is trying to read 1 book per week, actually. But I haven't managed to do so yet. Yeah, so I'm stressed, right? Has Booktube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased by this? Actually, I don't know if Booktube has influenced my book buying habits. Definitely, I buy some more books. Haha, it has influenced my habits because there are some books that I want to have earlier than before. But recently I have realized that the Stockholm City Library has so many new and beautiful books. I have a wish list of 150 books at the library. I could read for years from the library, probably, at my pace of reading, and not buying a book. But I do buy books because I love to have books, like every one of us does. And books arriving and unpacking them, that's a beautiful thing to do, right? So I bought a couple of books that I have to show you, actually. I have to do a book haul soon because I bought some beautiful collections of short stories. I bought Japanese authors in translation. 4 of them arrived last week. So I have to show them to you one of these days and make a book haul. Number 6, has a review by a booktuber ever retroactively made you reconsider your stance on a book? I would say partly yes, because one of the things with Booktube is that we are discussing with each other. That's the way I understand it. We discuss certain books, and that's also why I think why single review videos grow over the months and over the years. Because people are looking when they have read something. That's what I do. When I have read a novel, I go out and watch, for example, here, I want to do that today actually, Sanjeev Sahot's China Room, which I DNF'd, that's a little spoiler alert, for the next wrap-up video, nominated for longlisted for the Booker Prize. I will go out on Booktube and see what other people thought about this book and if I rightly DNF'd it or not. Well, of course I rightly DNF'd it because I didn't like it, but I want to sort of make my opinion confirm or see other opinions. Not that I would change my opinion necessarily, that happens very few times, but I want to discuss my opinion, and I do that by watching and maybe commenting on other videos and read the comments on my own videos, my own reviews. Number 7. Are there any videos you've been inspired to make after seeing another booktuber's videos? Have you ever felt inspired by another Booktuber style, the video style, the book organization style, the personal style, anything? Well, I would say yes and no. But what I certainly have been inspired by is that many of my fellow booktubers here do certain kinds of projects, like reading the whole oeuvre, the whole work of one author. I know that I think Britta Böhler did that with Louis Erdrich, is that right? I know that Sarah at Hardcover Hearts read, I think, everything by Anita Bruckner, is that right? And I tried to do that by reading Richard Ford, and I still intend to continue Richard Ford, but not at the pace of one book per month. That was a complete failure for me because Ford, at least the early Ford, is too difficult to read a book per month by him. I might continue that in the future because I haven't put him aside totally yet. But another thing that these kind of projects, like Paula from Draw Your Book has this project of reading the cities and reading countries with writers we not often read. And so I that sort of has influenced me altogether to come up with the Post-Soviet Book Club. But the Post-Soviet Book Club, actually, which I highly recommend you to join because this is a great, great book club. The Post-Soviet Book Club was more inspired by my other YouTube watching. As you know, I like the videos, most of the videos by Benjamin Rich, who is a guy from Brighton in England. And he's traveling mostly, his best videos he does are either in India, which he did in the very beginning of his Booktube career. He has more than 2 million subscribers now. And the other parts of his best videos are the videos when he alone travels to the former Soviet Union, to the former Soviet republics like Ukraine, like Belarus, like Russia, like Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan or whatever. And these videos where he sort of explores where he always looks for Soviet relics. This inspired me to start the Post-Soviet Book Club, which is a book club that covers not only the former Soviet Union, 15 republics that became independent states, but also the countries that were dominated by the Soviet Union, the countries that were members of the so-called Warsaw Pact, what we call the East Bloc in Germany. These countries and how the Soviet Union has impacted the people who lived in the Soviet Union and in the aftermath of the Soviet Union, and also the countries that were affected. Countries like Czechoslovakia, which became Czech Republic and Slovakia apparently. Countries like Poland, like Romania and Bulgaria, who are now in independence in NATO, in the European Union, and the former Soviet republics are still struggling a lot. So currently in the Post-Soviet Book Club, which is a great project that I started, being sort of influenced by Booktube, currently we read Museum of Abandoned Secrets by Ukrainian author Oksana Zabushko, and after 75 pages in a pretty difficult read, I have to say I'm also very enthusiastic about this novel. It's a great, great novel, and it tells us a lot about how life was and is in Ukraine, which was a part of the Soviet Union, which still, as you know, Ukraine and Russia are in a sort of war with each other today. What are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of your channel? I think that the pressure basically that you feel having a YouTube channel is that you have to sometimes you have a lot of content to do, because right now I'm full of I know already the next video and the video after that and the video after that, but there are periods of time, of course, when it's a little bit stressful, when you don't have the next video as certainty to do, that you have actually to read one book per week. You have to finish one book per week to sort of stay in the game of talking about fresh and new books. And sometimes I have problems with that. And that's a little pressure, but I can live with it. Number 9. I love that number. Number 9. That was the Beatles' Revolution number 9, right? In what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has influenced your reading? Do you think about books differently since joining? No different thinking here, but I saw today, actually this morning, I saw Steve Donohue's telling us why he's not interested in the Booker longlist, why he's not interested in the Booker shortlist, why he's not interested who wins the Booker, he's not interested in the National Book Award, and so on, because he thinks, and he says, he used the term, we are, and these awards are part of a progressive stack. And I have to think more about this term, which I think is very interesting. Steve very often starts discussions that are sort of leading us almost into very interesting discussions with each other. And the progressive stack is, of course, a very, very interesting one. What impact do you hope your own channel will have on the Booktube community and or aspiring booktubers? I hope to give good recommendations of books that I have read, of books that are interesting to me, and people who want to listen to me. And I also think that I'm a very good example to aspiring booktubers, because if I can do it, so can you. And that was the Under the Influence tag. I was tagged by Margaret Bernard. This tag was originating from Olive, from Book Olive. Thanks very much for watching this, and I see you very soon, because I have a couple of ideas that are coming over the course of the next days. Have a great Saturday wherever you are in this world. Stay safe, stay masked, because now we're putting masks on again, right? Not here in Sweden, but everywhere around the world, it seems, because the Delta variant is apparently rising and rising. It's also rising here, but we don't care. So, have a good day and see you soon. Bye.